What's up, fight fans? Let's dive right into today's news. Here's what's going down. Dricus and Khamzat make way. Card officially on. The UFC 319 official weigh-ins just took place, with all fighters successfully making weight. The stacked card, headlined by middleweight champion Dricus Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev, is now locked in for fight night.
All right, next athlete to the scale is the gentleman around whom this live event was built. The reigning, defending, undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Dricus Du Plessis. 185, the official weight for the champ, Dricus Du Plessis. One of the gentlemen around whom this fight card is built, competing for a title for the first time. The number 3 ranked middleweight contender, Khamzat Chimaev. 183, the official weight for Khamzat Chimaev.
Dricus Du Plessis interrupted by boos at UFC 319 press conference. Dricus Du Plessis was repeatedly interrupted by a vocal Chicago crowd during the UFC 319 press conference. Every time he tried to speak, boos erupted, forcing the middleweight champion to pause and regroup. Despite the hostile atmosphere, Du Plessis remained composed ahead of his clash with Khamzat Chimaev.
Things I think is the fact that I go out there and I want to fight to win.
Did you answer the question?
I don't think so. Oh, that was one of the best boos I've heard. Well done, James. Well done. You'll run out of steam quickly. Don't worry. You'll run out of steam. And I've seen this before, too, where it starts like this. Remember when you're cheering Saturday night.
Tense face-off between Dricus Du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev. Dricus Du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev had a tense face-off at the UFC 319 press conference, with UFC President Dana White stepping in to keep the fighters apart. Chimaev got a roaring reaction from the Chicago crowd. While Du Plessis was met with boos, he embraced the villain role. Both fighters promised to leave it all in the octagon when they clash in the middleweight title main event on Saturday. UFC 319 loses 2 fights, including Green versus Ferreira. UFC 319 has taken a hit with 2 bouts scratched from the card, including Bobby Green versus Diego Ferreira due to Green's injury. The welterweight final of The Ultimate Fighter Season 33, Daniil Donchenko versus Rodrigo Cezinando, was also postponed and rescheduled for UFC Fight Night 259 in San Antonio. King Green speaks out after UFC 319 fight cancellation. Bobby King Green opened up about his withdrawal from UFC 319, revealing he's currently on crutches and physically unable to compete. The lightweight veteran expressed his frustration, saying he hates pulling out of fights on his Instagram. Despite the setback, Green thanked his supporters and promised to come back stronger.
I worked so hard to get here. So hard. I went through a lot of bullshit to get here. And back in the days, I've had pullouts, you know? But somewhere along the line, I said, I'm not ever pulling out of a fight. If I gotta fucking limp my ass there, I'll limp into the cage. But I'm never pulling out. This one is a little bit different. I can't even fucking walk, guys. If I had a broken hand, I wouldn't say nothing, I would fight. And so I'm sorry to anybody I let down. I let myself down even more than that. You know, it just sucks to take this stuff, bro. I got things to do. I got people that I look up to me and need me and take care of. And so got the fucking crutches right here to fucking bullshit you not, bro. It is what it is, man. And I'm really sorry, and thank you for everyone that really rides with me. This shit is really appreciated, and I'm really sorry. Peace.
Du Plessis says win over Chimaev puts him near middleweight GOAT status. Dricus Du Plessis believes beating Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 319 would put him very close to middleweight GOAT status. On an 11-fight win streak with 2 title defenses, a win would tie him with Chris Weidman for 3rd most defenses in division history. Du Plessis acknowledges Chimaev as a huge challenge, but says he's ready to prove doubters wrong again. Speaking at Media Day for UFC 319, Dricus said, "Yeah, in terms of the number of title defenses, sure. I think Chris Weidman is amazing. I'm a massive, massive fan. When you look at the amount of defenses, and you look at a guy like Anderson Silva, for example, I think Anderson Silva is the GOAT because he's the guy. He's always been a hero of mine. But you also have to look in terms of era of title defenses, who these guys fought. Did they fight a guy with a part-time job? Did they fight full-time fighters? Was the sport ever as developed as it is right now? But I can't take away from any of those guys. I'm just saying, in today's age of fighting, that amount of defenses is not always possible. Right now, I still have a long way to go before I'm considered as the greatest of all time, and even the greatest middleweight of all time. But after this fight, I am right up there. I'm getting very close to that." UFC 320 poster unveiled. Hype builds for action-packed fight night. The UFC 320 poster has officially dropped, giving fans a first look at the stacked fight cards set for fight night. The eye-catching design spotlights the main event stars front and center, building hype for one of the year's most anticipated showdowns. Are you guys excited for UFC 320? Dana White trusts McGregor over Jones for UFC White House card. Dana White says he trusts Conor McGregor more than Jon Jones to show up if both were booked for the planned UFC White House event on July 4th, 2026. While McGregor has a history of delivering unless seriously injured, White admits he's a little more skeptical about Jones. Both fighters have re-entered the UFC's anti-doping testing pool as they eye potential returns for the historic card. Speaking on Jim Rome's show, Dana said,
"All right, so if Jon Jones and Conor both, enormous stars who've been so good for business, if they're coming hard, Dana, we want to do this, we want to do this, we want to do this. Do you trust either one of them to be on that card and to do what they have to do? Push and look bad?"
Conor. I trust Conor.
You trust
Conor
who?
McGregor has never, ever, unless he is seriously injured, this guy has always delivered. John, I'm a little more skeptical about.
Paul Hughes says Usman Nurmagomedov tried to avoid rematch. Paul Hughes claims Usman Nurmagomedov refused to give him a rematch after their close fight in January, saying the lightweight champ was on death's door late in the bout. Hughes believes PFL pressure forced Nurmagomedov to accept their October 3rd title clash in Dubai. Confident of victory, Hughes vows to take the belt and keep it for a long time. Speaking to Ariel Helwani, Hughes had this to say.
I think, to be completely honest, to cut to the chase, Usman was just refusing to fight me, and that is just the reality. I could give the whole stories and this and that, but the reality is he was just straight refusing to fight me, and they probably just had to look for other options. But then I think push come to shove, and they were like, "No, this is happening," and here we are. The fight's done.
And so, do you have any idea why he was refusing to fight you?
Probably because he doesn't want to get absolutely battered, to be honest. No, to be truthful, I think there was clips of him that went up after the night that we fought, and it was like, "Oh, Paul needs to win 2, 3, 4 more fights until we fight again." So I think that he kind of gave away his mindset there, and then it kind of got to the points where I was like, I'd heard that they wanted to do this rematch. And then I was like, what's going on here? I just need to go to the source and find out what's happening. And I literally just texted myself on Instagram, and I was like, basically, this rematch needs to happen now. This was just after I KO'd Bruno. And he writ back saying, "You need to win one more fight, brother. That guy, I didn't know that guy. You need to win one more fight." So he basically just told me that what was going down then, and that's what it was. And it took so long, I think, to actually get it done then. I think he was still just straight refusing to fight me.
Wow.
But ultimately, he is not bigger than the company. And as I say, credit to the PFL for getting this fight done. And I will deliver, absolutely, once again. And I plan to get that belt and keep that belt for a long time.
Israel Adesanya predicts Dricus Du Plessis will beat Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 319. Israel Adesanya believes Dricus Du Plessis' toughness and refusal to quit will be the key to defending his title against Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 319. While acknowledging Chimaev's dangerous early pressure, Adesanya predicts Du Plessis will survive the storm and score a late TKO in rounds 3 or 4. He also praised DDP's role as an inspiring African champion, continuing the legacy of the Three Kings. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Izzy has this to say.
Yeah, I've looked at this fight two ways. Khamzat comes out, just grabs a hold of DDP and just drags him into deep water of the first or the second and finishes him. Or DDP matches his crazy, matches Khamzat crazy with his own type of crazy and his willingness to just not quit, and then drags Khamzat into deep waters of the third and fourth and fifth round and gets him out of there. That's how I see this fight going. Khamzat, fast starter. He's gonna come in, he's not even gonna touch gloves, just boom, shoot straight away. Almost instantly he's gonna shoot. Khamzat, from what you've already said, he showed his hand. He's gonna go after him from the get-go. But DDP, I think, can weather the storm and probably finish Khamzat later on. Because Khamzat, if it gets to round 3, 4, 5, it's gonna be a problem. It probably won't get to round 5. I say round 3 or 4, DDP. But if Khamzat's gonna win, it's gonna be in the first round. It's gonna be impressive. It's gonna be like spectacular. It's gonna be violent. But yeah, I'm gonna go with DDP.
Do you agree with Izzy's prediction? Let us know in the comment section below. That's all for today's news. Thanks for watching. If you like our content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We post news daily.